All right, we are live back on the SOSCAST. How we all feeling out there? Thank you for being with us. We are back after a week off. Week off. We are officially back. I got my boy David with me. I got Vanessa with me. Can you guys hear me okay?
Check. One,
yes,
two.
yes.
All right. And most importantly, thank you to our Valuetainment fam for being back again. Who do we got here? Florida Real Estate Show in the house. Javier in the house. Kevin in the house. Juan Pablo, I got the sauce. You got the sauce, man. We all got the sauce. There's enough sauce to go around. Luis Perez, thank you for being here. Zachary, Money, man, in the house. But thank you guys for being here. Welcome to the SOSCAST. All we talk is money. All we talk is money. I'm your host, Adam Sosnick, and I'm here to help you build your wealth and save that moolah. We all know this. So, we've been off for a week or two, or for a week. We were off for a week. We're doing the vault here at Valuetainment. Was sick. If you guys were at the vault, let us know. We're going to be checking the comments. I know David's on that. But we missed you guys, and we're back. We're here to shed knowledge. We're here to talk money. We're here to drop some truth bombs when it comes to money. And again, help you build your wealth and save that money. So as we talk about every single SOSCAST, every single show, I get news updates, money, financial updates all day, every day, right? They're hitting my phones, bing, 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 bing. And what I do is I package them up, put them in a nice little present for you, and I bring up the ones that I think are going to help you guys the most. So let's get into the ones that I think are going to help you the most and the stuff that we're going to be covering today. So on today's show, here's what we're covering. The most important financial milestones, right? We're going to talk about, are you on track to becoming a millionaire? Steph Curry, the legendary three-point shooter Steph Curry's wild money move regarding NFTs, financial questions to ask before marriage. Is crypto going to zero? What kind of topic is that?
Louise.
Financial advice coming from Megan the Stallion, and financial advice and life lessons coming from the legendary late Steve Jobs. We're going to discuss, is a car really worth it? Controversial topic. Is a car worth it? We'll break down some of the numbers. And finally, as we do at the end of every show, a little Q&A with your boy Saz here. So with all that being said, are we ready to talk money?
Let's talk money.
Let's talk money.
Dinero.
Vanessa, we got Spanish speakers in the house. We got dinero.
Hablemos dinero.
We guarda la dinero.
Guarda el dinero.
That's true. That's what's up. Let's see who we got in the house. Nikki Seasons in the house. Florida Real Estate Show, we talked about him. Yard Work Lawn Care Services, the best lawn care services around, and I don't even have a yard. We got Ludovicio Maria Penici. Yes, Saz, first time watching from Italy.
Wow.
We got Italia in the house. Awesome. We did the PBD podcast earlier today with a legendary Italian,
The one and only
boss, Michael Francese. But we're ready to talk money. Let's get into some of these stories for today. So what we're going to start off with talking today are major money milestones. Say that 3 times fast. Major money milestones.
Major money milestone. Major money.
Okay. All we talk is money. Major money milestones. Look, when it comes to the money game, right? Sometimes you just got to take a look at yourself and look at the man in the mirror, or the woman in the mirror, in Vanessa's case, or our friends out there. Take a look in the mirror, like Michael Jackson. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. Sometimes you got to assess yourself, and sometimes, you need to make that change, right? So when it comes to these major money milestones, here's what I want you to do. I want you to find out where you're at, depending on your age. Are you reaching these 5 important financial milestones? And this is an article from Go Banking Rate. So let's get into these major money milestones. So if you care about reaching financial independence, this is something that we're obviously very concerned about. That's why we're here talking money. Here are a few of the big ones that you need to accomplish. Number 1, are you ready? Number 1, you think I'm going to start with save that money? Obviously,
yeah, absolutely.
That's like before you've even you've saved that money already. Then you're gonna, we're graduating.
Gotcha.
Number 1, have an active brokerage account in your 20s. Do you have an active brokerage account yet?
No, I'm actively broke though.
Oh. Okay. So if you're young today, young David, Vanessa up there, congratulations, right? Your knees work.
Yeah.
You can go out drinking. You're not hungover for 3 days.
I walk funny, but my knees work.
But the best thing that you got on your side, the greatest thing that every young investor, every young person has on their side is time. T-I-M-E. Time. Time is your greatest weapon.
Yeah, it is.
So you don't need a lot of money or investing experience when you get time on your side. You get the greatest tool of all, time, right? So all you got to do is start kicking in some of your spare change, investing, you're maxing out certain brokerage accounts, your retirement accounts, and then you let compounding do the rest. Vanessa, I would love to actually see you, maybe. But, we forgot about that. But anyway, so that's number one. Have an active brokerage account in your 20s. This can be, I look at this two ways. Number one, this might just be a retirement account. We talk about all the time, a 401k or a Roth IRA or an IRA. These are retirement accounts. Cool. Or just a brokerage account. Maybe that's with a robo-advisor or a low-cost trading platform where you can invest or trade stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, important things. Right. David, I know that you're learning, and we said by 100 episodes in, you're going to be a billionaire. So in order to get to that point in your life, we got to get you a brokerage account. You ready to do this?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
We got a 401k here at Valuetainment. Have you not signed up for that?
We're
going to do that after the show, buddy. All right. So anyone out there, that's number one. Start with an active brokerage account in your 20s. Number two, be one of those well-qualified buyers you keep hearing about in your 30s. What does that mean? Well-qualified buyers are the people with excellent credit, which means their credit scores are north of 700 and approaching 800. Did you know, David, what do you think the highest possible credit score is? And if you guys know it in the comment section, highest possible credit score. Do you know the number?
It's got to be like, what, 900 something?
Okay, that's your guess, 900? Yeah. Vanessa? Highest possible credit score?
1,000.
1,000. People in the comment section, what do we got?
It's got to be something
King
north
Otto.
of 800.
All right, the number is 850. 850. You weren't bad. You were at
I was ambitious.
You weren't bad. All right, so 850. The FICO credit scoring system, that's what people use. It goes all the way up to 850. So those with 800 or more, they're able to get the lowest rates. They're able to get the best deals, and they take out loans and they finance purchases. Now, me, I'm not a person that basically one of the things I always say is, you know what's more important than a high credit score?
What's that?
A high net worth.
Bingo.
When you got a lot of money and your net worth is chilling, as I'd like to say, you don't necessarily need to put a lot of things on credit or rely on your credit score. But it is important to have a high credit score versus a low credit score. So if you're in the 750, 800 range, you're doing great. If you're anywhere near 850, you're crushing the game. So here's an analogy. You know what I would equate the credit score to?
What's that?
A good GPA.
Ooh.
Okay? But a good GPA or a good credit score doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful, guaranteed in life. As an example, Pat always talks about having a 1.8 GPA. The guy's doing okay. He's got 1.8, 000, after that. The guy's doing all right. So it's important, the credit score, the GPA is an analogy right there. So just like in school, you kind of want to have a good credit score so you can go on the class trip, right? So make sure you got a good GPA. Number three, this is something we talked about in one of the first SOSCASts, how much money you should have by a certain age. In your 40s, you should have 3 times your salary saved up for retirement, okay? So number one, we talked about having an active brokerage account in your 20s. Number two, be one of those well-qualified buyers you keep hearing about in your 30s, high credit score. Number three, have 3 times your salary saved up for retirement in your 40s. So to put it in perspective, by age 30, you should have your annual salary saved for retirement. So what does that mean? You make 50 G's a year. By age 30, you should have 50 grand in your retirement account. Okay, not bad. But by age 40, you should have 3 times your annual salary, okay, in a retirement account. So if you make 50 grand a year, use that analogy, that's 150 grand in a 401k or a Roth IRA or in a retirement account. Awesome. That's 6 times your annual salary by age 50. That's followed by 8 times your annual salary by age 60 and 10 times by retirement age, which is typically 67. So I know that 10 times sounds a little bit crazy, but the younger you start, the easier it'll be you can get there. Okay. Number 4 on this list, right? There's 5 tips that we're going through. Number 4, have your end-of-life affairs in order by your 50s.
Ooh.
This to me is a little controversial. It's like by your 50s you need to be, but yeah, things happen. 50s, you know, a generation ago when life expectancy was 65, 67 in this country, by 50 you were already, you know, you're already in the third quarter of life. By 50 now, if you're taking care of yourself, you're maybe at the midway point, right? Like, you know, people are healthy. So, but like Biggie's album, Ready to Die, you never know, okay? So they recommend basically getting your affairs in order with things like trusts, living trusts, power of attorney, making sure that you got insurance in place, inheritance, what's going to happen, wills and trusts that we always talk about, long-term care. So if we have people in their 50s that are watching the show, these are things that you maybe need to be focusing on. This is the difference between leaving a lasting legacy or leaving behind basically a cluttered mess to your beneficiaries and your loved ones. So it can get ugly out there. It ain't pretty, some of this stuff to talk about, what we talked about, your end-of-life affairs by age 50. But I don't know anybody that's ever lived forever. So eventually that time is going to come. So it ain't fun. It ain't pretty to talk about, but it needs to get done. That's number 4. Number 5, to wrap this one up, you got to have a supplementary income stream by, you know what, by what age?
Oh, God, what?
By what age?
26.
What he said.
Something so too soon.
No matter your age. Whether you're in your 20s, your 30s,
Tricky
your 40s,
question.
your 50s, it was a trick question. I think we
Got
learned.
me.
I gotcha. I think we learned during the pandemic, you never know what's going to happen. Do you have a side hustle you can monetize, right? Side hustle was never a thing a generation ago. Nobody had side hustles. You had a job that you maybe worked at for 40 years and, you know, you collected a pension, your gold watch, that's it. You're out the door. Now, everybody's got a side hustle. To put things in perspective, I've worked in financial services in the life settlement world for almost 15 years. That's my income stream. That's how I met Pat at an insurance conference, 10 years ago. This little show, Soz Talks Money, once started as a little side hustle, me telling a buddy of mine, hey, I really think that millennials kind of don't understand how money work and kind of want to help some people out. And I'm very fortunate that I've become this successful person in my field and I want to help people. And it started off as an idea that turned into a side hustle that turned into my own show here on Valuetainment. So a side hustle starts on the side and eventually maybe takes the place of your real career. Anyway, that's a little side hustle. Clearly, with the pandemic and everything that's happened with that, I think people are recognizing the importance of a side hustle. David, thoughts on everything we just discussed, thoughts on side hustles, thoughts on these milestones, quick thoughts.
First one, the 50 thing, kind of dark. I mean...
Kind of dark.
But it is important to start planning for that because a funeral can be like $50K. It's like insane. So definitely start planning for that. And as far as side hustles, I think it's absolutely essential to get a side hustle nowadays, especially with so many work from home opportunities now available due to coronavirus. I feel like there's more now than there was before.
I agree with that. Vanessa, you want to weigh in on anything we discussed or a side hustle?
It also took me by surprise the 50-year limit per se. I don't think that's accurate anymore. Other than that, I agree with David. Like, feel like working in an office eventually is going to be like outdated.
Oh, in an office. Well, here's my request to both of you. We have a 401k here at work.
Yeah.
You guys got to sign up for this thing.
No, I do have mine.
Oh, you have yours?
Yeah.
So Vanessa beat you to the punch, buddy.
Sorry.
We're gonna step into HR's office.
Let's take these cameras. Let's take the crew. Let's go do that.
Let's go do that. Okay, cool. All right. So moving on, let's do a quick test. Let's do a quick test for our friends watching at home or doing their side hustle, whatever they're up to. Are you on track to become a millionaire? Dun 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 dun. What was the millionaire? How did the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing go?
It was like that.
Or was
Like,
it?
wow.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do a quick test. Who's on track to be a millionaire? Is your 401k on track to retire a millionaire? This is going to break down. This is by the Motley Fool. This is going to break it down by age and account balance. And maybe just for fun, as I'm reading off your age and the number that you should have, put a thumbs up if you got that by that certain age or if the age that you're at now. Or if you're not, put a thumbs down and let us know, hey, I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. All right? Can we make that agreement? Thumbs up if you're reaching these numbers. Thumbs down if you're not there yet. Okay. It starts off, how much should you have at every age to reach $1 million in retirement? At age 25, do you know the number? $3,100. That's not a lot. David, you're 25.
Yeah.
$3,100 in a retirement account. Not a lot, You know the number
No.
one thing on how to become a millionaire?
What's that?
You just got to get started. You got to start with $3,100. Like,
Of course.
step one. If you don't sign up, you don't got it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So that's number one. By age 30, you need to have $29,000 in your 401k account balance. Not bad. So my 30-year-olds out there, push a thumbs up if you got that, whether that's in a 401k, IRA, retirement account. Let's see if you're going to, our guy Javier, I'm 23 and I'm on track.
Yeah, I was about to
Love
say.
that.
Good
I love
man.
that. And you can read these stuffs out, David, because I know you're watching the comments. Age 35, 66 grand. That's the number right there. 40, I'm 40, $123,000. I'm there. It's because I started when I was 27 years old.
Okay, I got 2 years. I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm 28.
28. Okay. By age 45, you should have $202,000 in your 401k if you're going to be on track to retire a millionaire. By age 50, you're talking $314,000. By age 55, you're talking $470,000. By age 60, you should have just shy of $700,000 in your retirement account. Let that compound interest do what it do. And if I got 60-year-olds out there watching the show, respect to you. Let us know if you're there. A couple quick comments. Ross Olson, I'm 33. I got 110. Well done. Birth of Cool, I'm negative 90K.
Yeah,
Not
I
in the
saw-
direction we need to be. That's probably student loan debt, I'm assuming. Let's get that done. Either way, just quick disclaimer. These numbers are based on receiving the median salary, which is about $50,000 in this country right now, contributing a median percentage that's 6% of your salary every year, about $3,000, and receiving a 50-cent match up to $1. I know there's a quick disclaimer, but the point is this. At least you know where you need to be based on a certain age. If you're there, awesome. Keep crushing it. If you're not, now you've got some benchmarks or some milestones that you need to hit. And newsflash, you can do this.
Yeah,
You can do this,
100%,
okay?
Yeah.
Just get started, start contributing, understanding, start socking away 6%, 10%, whatever your number is, put that in a retirement account, retire a millionaire, contribute more, step it up, look at the man in the mirror, boom, next thing you know, you're a millionaire.
Yeah. Our boy Ross Olson, he's 33 and he has 110K. So he's
Yeah.
ahead of the curve.
Of course.
Amen.
Our guy. Moving right along, we do this every episode. This is our wild money move of the week, okay? This is our
Oh,
wild
yeah, I like
money
that.
move of the week. We like this segment. It's a fan favorite. People want to say, how wild you about to get, Saz? This one isn't that wild
Oh no.
in comparison to who this person is.
Okay.
Okay? So depending on how much you got in the bank, some people will say this is a genius money move. Some people will be like, it's not that big of a deal. It's a little drop in the bucket for this person. Some people are going to say, you spent 180 grand on what? So here's the story. NBA icon Steph Curry buys Bored Ape NFT for $180,000 according to Block Crypto. So here's the story. You got the picture up of our Bored Ape. He does not look happy. Two-time MVP Steph Curry with the shot has decided to join the Bored Ape Yacht Club, picking up one of their NFTs for 55 ETH, which is basically 180 grand. NFTs, basically, if you're not are you familiar with NFTs, David?
Yes, non-fungible token.
Wow, well done.
Wow.
What's ROI?
Return on investment.
My guy is learning.
Yeah.
What's OPP?
You know me.
Exactly. You done with OPP? Yeah, you know me. Well done, David. You're on the ball. You're already doing better than you were in episode 1.
There
well
we
done.
go.
Can we get a round of applause
Yeah.
for
100
David on that?
episodes.
He
It
didn't
took
know what
him 7
ROI was.
episodes.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
David.
thank
So
you.
basically, NFTs are basically like the half-court shot of investing at this point. Like
Right.
you're putting it out there. It's a hope and a prayer. Maybe it goes in. It's worth a 3-pointer. It's not worth a 4 or 5-pointer. It's still worth a 3-pointer. You're just taking a long shot. But if you're Steph Curry and you're worth $160 million, I believe that's his current net worth, that's less than 0.001% of his net worth, okay? So just keeping that in mind. So here's a little thing about this Bored Ape. There's a collection of 10,000 apes with gloomy expressions. This dude don't look too happy. His Bored Ape, Steph Curry, has blue fur, zombie eyes, and is wearing a tweed suit, okay? This is insane. Okay, what's basically happening? So
Very
the
gorilla-esque.
digital copy of this is worth 180 grand.
Yeah, that's
what are we?
insane to
What
me.
are we even talking about right now? So usually when it comes to investing, you want to focus on the company's profits and their losses, or their EBITDA, or if they have a good marketing plan, or who the CEO is. Now with NFTs, you want to know if the Bored Ape has zombie eyes or what kind of suit they're wearing. This is the current reality that we're living in. But as they say, if you can't beat them, join them. And Steph Curry decided to join them. So I guess the prices of these Bored Apes. This guy does not look happy. He looks bored.
Yeah, straight
He
up
looks
bored.
unenthusiastic. But they've shot up over the last month. The current floor price, apparently, bottom price. Like let me get in on the bottom.
on the Bored
bottom
Ape.
floor, the cheapest Bored Ape NFT is going for 25 ETH, which is just north of $80,000. If you want one of these bad boys as an NFT, so that's why you have these 15-year-old kids just becoming multimillionaires creating these NFTs. Weird stuff, but it's out there. So here's the takeaway. Here's the big takeaway. We talked about this. Yeah, Steph threw in 180 grand on this NFT, this Bored Ape. But again, he's worth $160 million. This is a drop in the bucket for him, right? This is just one three-pointer, and he's the leading three-pointer.
Off the backboard.
Exactly. He's going to be the greatest three-pointer in NBA history. This is just like one three-pointer
Dude,
that he
and
just
in a
decided
way-
to spend on this one NFT. What you got?
We have it here, you and I. It's right there. The same thing he paid 180K for.
Yeah,
we have it
there
right
is.
there.
I'm touching it.
There you go.
I'm touching it. I just touched the Bored Ape.
That just blows my mind.
Yeah, this is the current reality, but he's got the blue one with the tweed suit.
Okay.
And he's definitely bored. But
there was a comment from Dustin saying that apparently Steve Harvey have the same one too.
Yeah, apparently Dustin says Steve Harvey has one too. So he's not alone. Steve Harvey invested in the Bored Ape.
yeah, well, apparently there's 10,000 of them. Is that what they said?
Yeah. But
Yacht
it's
Club
like
is a
Steve-
collection of 10,000
That's
apes with
different.
gloomy expressions, okay? So, diversification, that's all this is. Obviously, you save, so you save up so you can invest, and then when you can invest, you can diversify. I'm a big stock market guy. There's people out there that are big real estate people. There are people that are big crypto people. I don't buy real estate, but I invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts that you can get into. I'm not all in on crypto, but I do have got a couple Bitcoins, and I've invested actually in an NFT platform called Eternity. So respect to them. They're doing their thing. They actually did a thing with Messi and with Pele. They're dope. So shout out to Eternity. But the point is this. NFTs are a thing. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Bitcoin was a thing that didn't make sense 10 years ago. Look at it now.
Yeah.
So if you get in on a trend, here's my advice. If you get in on a trend, you get in early on an NFT, you get in early on Bitcoin, and you've diversified and you've saved and you have other investments, hodl. Buy and hodl. Okay? There's so many people out there with regret. Man, I wish I wouldn't have sold my Bitcoin. I bought it at $100 and it went down to 90 and I sold. Now it's worth what? I don't know, as of filming of this, $45,000. Where are we at today with Bitcoin?
Something like that, yeah.
I'll tell you right now. We got these things called phones that I could just take a look at where Bitcoin is.
Drum
Who
roll.
pulled it up
Drum.
faster?
Yeah. Well, it's been, you see what happened with El Salvador. They just basically made Bitcoin legal tender and then the price dropped. So it's right around 46,000 as the filming of this show.
46,000.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you, David. Thank you. Big one. So anyway, diversification. So that's this thing. So that's NFTs for you. That's Steph Curry. Is this a good decision or bad decision by Steph Curry? What do you guys think out there?
Bad.
Bad decision. Tell us why.
He should have, if anything, like his worth. That, like you said, he's worth so much more than that.
Yeah, 160 million.
I feel like he should have gone for more. Like,
Oh, you
charge
think
more.
he should have spent more on an NFT?
Yeah, if you're gonna do something
So it's
that is not
That money, baby.
Okay.
yeah, because if you're gonna do something that, in my opinion, is stupid, might as well go all
Go
out.
full stupid?
Yeah,
Yeah, go
Okay.
full stupid.
Hey, nobody go full retard.
No, never.
No,
But,
don't go full.
no.
No, go full stupid. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's a bad move. Obviously, it's the trend, like you said. You got to get in on it. I saw somewhere in the comments that you can't sell this one or something. I don't know if that's true, but trade
Why wouldn't
it.
you be able to sell it?
I don't know, but
Okay.
it's a cool piece of art regardless. I just think it's weird to pay that much money for a JPEG that you and I now have.
Okay.
Here.
Anyway, it's a thing now.
Here, let me get in on this NFT real quick.
right.
Save him.
Anyway, yeah, there you go. Just save that. Just said. All right. So anyway, NFTs, they're a thing. We'll probably, this is what we're talking about. Our wild money move of the week. That's Steph Curry buying an NFT. David, you're single right now?
Ooh, it's complicated. Trying to keep it mysterious. Sure, yeah, I'm single.
Okay.
What's up?
Vanessa, you in a relationship right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm single right now. I was briefly engaged / married for a minute, but I'm single now. And I wish that somebody would have given me this advice years ago. So here's advice to the couples out there thinking about getting married. Some advice to all you couples out there thinking of getting married. I see that my boy Caleb Box is here. My dude, he just got engaged. So I wonder if he's, focusing on these types of questions. So we just went from NFTs. We'll get to a little something more solid. Here's financial advice for the couples out there, for the lovebirds. So when thinking of marriage, obviously you think of the engagement, then you think of the bachelor parties and the bachelorette parties and the wedding and then the party and then the dance and then the groom and then the this and then that, then the honeymoon and then the kids. And when all the dust settles, you get back to the real world, right? And you have to get back to life. So here are 3 questions to ask each other before marriage. David, you want to cue this one up? Here we go, buddy. Number 1, first question. What's your credit score? First question. What's your credit score?
First date.
First date. How you doing? My name's David. What's your credit score?
What's your credit score?
How you doing? Okay. So obviously you want to marry someone who's pretty serious about, their financial well-being, and they're making their payments on time, and they're not taking on too much debt. But if their credit score is crazy low, like in the 600s or the 500s, something ridiculously low, you're going to want to know why, right? So as a famous rapper has once said, if the credit score low, they a hoe. Okay. This could be a he or she. This could be a he or she thing. Okay?
No.
Credit score low. Hopefully your credit score isn't too low. Shout out to Flow Rider right there. Anyway, so number 1, if you're going to get married, find out what your soon-to-be spouse's credit score is. Okay, number 2, how much debt do you have? This is probably an aggressive approach on the first date, but before you step down the aisle, maybe this is something that you want to ask your future spouse. What kind of debt you got going on? Oh, you've got 50 grand in credit card debt and 100 grand in student loan debt, and you got cars and you've got consumer loans, and you got Macy's cards, and you've got all this. You got tax debt. So you owe $300,000. This is that'd be good to know up front.
This woman nursed you back to health from a terrible car accident. She taught you how to walk again, but she owes a little bit of student loans.
Right. Look, it's like, look, you tell them, look, I don't care about your exes. I don't care who you dated before. I don't care if you got a kid. I don't care.
What's your credit score?
What's your credit score and how much debt do you have? I need to know. Okay? How much debt you got? So, and just for the record, what's the credit score? I'm sorry, what's the debt, and what's the interest rate, and what's the amount? Those 3 things. What's the debt? What's the amount of debt? And what's the interest rate? So as an example, all right, so you owe 50 grand in student loans. All right, cool. It's a 4% interest rate, 5%. It's nothing crazy. Or hold on, you got credit cards that you're paying 24%, and you own 60. You own 40 grand in credit cards. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you funding a lifestyle that you can't afford? This can get a little slippery out there. So as they always say, right? If they owe a lot, drop them like it's hot.
Wow.
Yeah. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. But these are we're dropping some gems out there. And also, if they owe too much, now you got to pay for lunch. These are things that are just happening. Shout out to Marcelo out there for dropping these bombs out here. But these are the truth bombs. If the credit score is low, they might be a hoe. If they owe a lot, drop them like it's hot. And if they owe too much, now you got to pay for lunch.
I think we have a song here.
That's a little thing. That's Save That Money remix right there by your boy Saz right here. All right. And number 3, right? We talked about number 1, what's your credit score? Number 2, how much debt do you have? Number 3, what are your financial goals? This is a little more serious of a topic, so let's reel it in.
Bring it back.
No rap lyrics on this one. Everything starts with dreams and your goals. Everything starts with dreams and goals. And then you got to have a plan to match your dreams and your goals. So what do you want to accomplish, right? And does your future spouse's goals align or do they conflict with what your goals are? So maybe you want to save up to buy a house and your, future wife is more concerned about balling out at the mall. Maybe you want to buy a rental property and your girl just, wants to sit around all day. Future goals are important. So that would be a problem. So those are the big three things that this article says you need to focus on before getting married. Number one, what's your credit score? Number two, how much debt do you have? And number three, what are your overall financial goals? Respect to you. So the big takeaway here is this. Don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. It definitely might be uncomfortable in the short term, but in the long term, I think we can all agree this is definitely a worthy conversation and worth it in the long run. Thoughts?
Tough. I mean, I agree. Definitely know your partner's financial situation before you get in there and, propose and do the big decision.
Yep.
But at the same time, Sauce, what is love nowadays? Honey, I love you. Perfect spouse.
Jesus.
But you owe a little too much for me.
Okay.
Next.
All right. Well, look, here's what I'd say to that. Love, butterflies, feeling good. It's great. It's awesome in the beginning. But then reality sets in.
Yeah.
And you got bills to pay.
Yeah, is love going to pay
You got a
the bills?
mortgage and you got kids. Right. Love might not pay the bills is the bottom line. Yeah. Obviously, you want to have love, but you also kind of want to have your shit together.
It's a tough decision to make.
No,
But
yeah.
I agree with these.
Right.
It's
We got our guy Manny GG over here says marriage is a team. For
I
sure.
agree, 100%.
If you ever see anything regarding Pat and anything he does at PHP, respect to the folks out there, there's other company PHP, half the people in the company are like couples. And there's couples crushing it. The Sapalas, the Vargases, Ricky and Erica. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jose and Marlene Gaitan. Like they're just couples that are doing their thing. So that's something that I think that would be a great example for other people out there. Like you don't obviously have to work in the same field. You might be a, production coordinator and your girl might be a musician, or you might be a lawyer and your girl might be a bartender. Whatever it is, just make sure you're on the same team and you have goals that you're looking to accomplish and you're on the
100%.
same page.
Yeah, totally.
Cool?
Yes,
All right.
I agree.
There we go. So that's that. Those are the big three things that you should ask your future spouse before marriage. Moving on, who's ready to talk crypto? We talked NFT, but we didn't really get into the crypto space yet.
Yeah.
So let's talk some crypto.
I'm ready.
Do
This
it.
is Ready for the Crypto Corner. Get it ready for the Crypto Corner.
Sing it. I
Yeah.
like that one.
Yeah, I don't
You're
think-
really on it today.
I'm on it. I don't
Wow,
know what it
love
was. All right.
What did you drink?
Just water. But
Let me have some of that. Cheers.
you want some of that water, bro. All right, let's talk crypto for a
go.
second. This is Ready for the Crypto Corner. So look, we all have that one friend that he's giving you hot stock tips or financial advice or investment advice, or you got to get in on Dogecoin, bro. Bitcoin's going to the moon, or this is going to happen. And you're like, buddy, aren't you broke and living with your mom still and 27 years old? I think I'm good on your advice. I'm not sure I should be listening to you. However, the person giving this advice that we're about to talk about is an actual billionaire. And when they drop some knowledge, you might want to pay attention and take a look. So here's this article from MarketWatch. Billionaire John Paulson predicts cryptocurrencies will all go to zero. Dun, dun, dun. What's dude talking about here? Here's the article. Cryptocurrencies, according to John Paulson, regardless of where they're trading today, will eventually prove to be worthless. Once the exuberance wears off or liquidity dries up, they will all go to zero. I wouldn't recommend anyone invest in cryptocurrencies, says Paulson. He's the president and portfolio manager, hedge fund manager of the U.S. investment firm Paulson and Company. Paulson said it wasn't even worth shorting Bitcoin because it's extremely volatile, and instead suggests investors stock money into bullion, which is basically gold, due to a very limited amount of investable gold. Paulson sees investors pulling money out of fixed income, which are bonds, and cash, as inflation rises, then heading towards the only logical destination, and that is gold.
My God.
Okay. So for those that are not familiar with this guy, John Paulson, he became super famous during the Great Recession. The hedge fund manager made a killing betting against the U.S. housing market. The name became very familiar with the movie The Big Short, and Michael Michael Burry, Big Short.
Yeah.
Played by who
Who
played Michael Burry in the movie?
Let's look it up.
Michael Burry.
Please
The
hold.
actor who played Batman. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
All right.
He's next
Never
to
seen
you.
The Big Short, clearly.
Yeah, Christian Bale, Batman, right here, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how Paulson made his name. So when a billionaire basically says, "Look, crypto zero, good luck out there. Get out there, get into gold, all right? Maybe you listen. I don't know."
Zachary
So-
Pisano commented. He doesn't agree. He goes, "This guy's a
This
fool.
guy's a fool, capital fool.
He needs to kick
That's how you
rocks."
know that this guy's a fool, not just a regular fool. Capital
Capital fool.
FOOL. Thank you, Zachary, for your 2 cents. So Paulson basically says, look, if you've got all this cash lying around, maybe you buy your own house. That's what he's saying. Put it into hard assets. I like this one. Sometimes the old dog does not understand new tricks. That's from our guy Zachary, who
Yeah.
called him
He's on
a
fire.
fool. So that was the article, and I said, all right, we'll take that for what it's worth. That's one man's opinion. Who has a different opinion that I'd like to hear? And this is where I found this article from ARK Invest, Kathy Wood. ARK Investment.
Kathy Wood.
ARK Investment Management, Kathy Wood. She's the founder and CEO of ARK Investment. She's like a investing rock star these days. You pull up a picture of sweet Kathy Wood.
Kathy Wood.
She said, hey, John, I hear you, buddy. I saw your article. Here's my response. Here's what I got to tell you.
Here's my
John
response, fool.
Paulson. Here's my response, fool. Gee, check yourself. She says, I'm a believer in Bitcoin and the entire world of decentralized currencies. So now we have two basically billionaire types
Yeah, we go.
that are just giving different opinions. So in a recent interview with Yahoo Finance, Kathy Wood said there's a key aspect that gold bugs, she calls, now this is like trash talking.
Oh, wow.
You a gold bug, dog. That gold bugs like John Paulson are missing when it comes to evaluating Bitcoin as an asset. She says, Bitcoin is much more than digital gold.
Tell
You
them.
got it all wrong, John Paulson. She says, quote unquote, many investors who have spent their careers focused on gold cannot understand the digital concept associated with gold, aka Bitcoin. What we think Paulson is missing is this is much more than the store of value or digital gold. She's basically saying, look, I hear you, Paulson, but you're wrong. Go kick some rocks. Okay? She says Bitcoin in particular is the new global monetary system. Wow. It's a rules-based monetary policy which is completely decentralized and therefore is not subject to the whims of policymakers. In fact, it's a hedge against the whims of policymakers, especially in emerging markets. So the question is this, friends out there on Valuetainment, friends out there of the SOSCAST, we've given you two different perspectives regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Who do you agree with? John Paulson, billionaire, hedge fund manager,
Old school guy.
relatively old school dude, or Kathy Wood, who's probably 60 herself, but sort of on that new school thought process. She thinks Bitcoin is the wave of the future. One, totally against. One, totally for. Leave us your comments below. We're going to be checking them. David, let us know your thoughts on that. And while I'm doing that, let me give you my 2 cents. One is completely against, and one is completely for Bitcoin. Here's my response. You don't have to be on either side of the Bitcoin or either side of the coin, to use the correct pun right there. You could be, you can dip your toe in the water a little bit. Like, for instance, I've been very clear when I was investing and diversifying and Bitcoin became a thing for me, when I started to understand it in 2017, I took 5% of my liquid assets in my portfolio that I was willing to just kind of play with and put it in Bitcoin. And it's proved to be very well for me. Now, if I would have sold when it plummeted and I would have lost money, I maybe have a different perspective. But I've hodled, and it's turned out very nice. So I did a whole Bitcoin episode on one of my first Valuetainment economics things when we moved here to Boca, South Florida. And I said, just do what the big boys are doing. Do what the big boys are doing. And what are the big boys doing? They're putting somewhere between 5 and 8% of their portfolio into crypto. So you don't got to be 100% and you don't have to be 0%. Maybe your number that you're comfortable with is 5%. Maybe it's 10%. Maybe it's 20%. Maybe like Steph Curry, you can put 0.0001% of your net worth into a NFT with the ape that he bought. What was that called again? The Bored Ape?
Bored Ape, yep.
So, look, you don't have to be all in or all out. You can dabble in it. And last week we talked about how to invest in crypto without actually investing in crypto. And you can invest in companies that indirectly invest in crypto, i.e. Tesla, NVIDIA, Square, Jack Dorsey. They're a payment platform. If I had to pick one, whether Bitcoin was going to zero or is going to be worth $1 million one day, I'm on the side of Kathy Wood here. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed to go there. There's no guarantee, but it's all risk and reward. So what are people saying out there in the comments?
People are going with both. People are,
saying Kathy.
Yeah, Merrill B chose Kathy.
Auntie Kathy. I like that. Chase Gordon. Auntie Kathy.
Auntie Kathy. A lot. Yeah, mostly it's both.
We got some both. Okay.
Manny GG got to pay to play.
Anyway, so that's the crypto corner. Let's ready to move on. Look, we cover a lot of different subjects here on the SOSCAST. All we talk is money. We talk all things with money, okay? We just talked about a hedge fund and 2 hedge fund billionaires, basically, their thoughts on Bitcoin. So we cover everything related to money. Now we're going to talk about a rapper who likes to have a little financial literacy in their life. You guys familiar with Megan the Stallion? Not Megan the Stallion. There's 2
Megan
E's.
The Stallion.
She's proper. That English proper.
Stallion.
Okay, you're familiar with this girl?
A little bit.
All I know is that her song "Savage" is everywhere. I'm a savage. Bougie, hood, and ratchet. What
Like
are
that.
those the words?
Nasty.
Bougie, nasty, ratchet.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's got to be something else.
I just hear Vanessa go nasty. I'm a savage. And anyway, she's talking. You know,
I got to look it up now.
you're gonna look
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna
up.
look it up. We can
Sing
sing
it. If you're gonna look it up,
I'll sing
you
it.
have to sing it.
All right, I'll sing it.
Don't bullshit me.
Okay.
All right. So Megan Thee Stallion talks on iHeart Media, iHeart Radio, and she talks about the importance of financial literacy and her relationship with Bitcoin to transition back to Bitcoin. So she said she learned the importance of financial literacy at a young age. The hot girl CEO, she's 26. She's Cash App's newest spokesperson, and she wants to help her fans understand the world of finances, particularly crypto, particularly Bitcoin. She says, quote unquote, after I downloaded the app, Cash App, this is not a commercial for Cash App, she said, I got some Bitcoin, right? It was really a simple experience especially because Cash App lets you buy fractions of stock or cryptocurrency. I wanted to dip my toe in and make sure I educated myself on the process. So this is what I was talking about. You don't need to go all in on Bitcoin or
And that's
all
coming
out.
from like a
You can-
millionaire
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion. She's like, I'm not going all in.
Recent millionaire. No one heard of Megan Thee Stallion before the pandemic.
Sure.
Right? At least I didn't. So she's dipped her toe in. She didn't go all in. Okay. She says, I was able to pay off my student loan, and this was a huge moment for me. A huge moment for anyone. She said, and I realized how important financial literacy is. You have to take the time to learn and educate yourself in the process, but once you do, you can have a lot of fun. True that, Megan the Stallion. And look, she's not wrong. Pay off your debt, save that money, start to invest, and then you can start to diversify. Me, I'm a big stock market guy. I invest in REITs, right? ETFs, index funds, little crypto, maybe a Bored Ape NFT. You never know what's going to happen out there. So Megan Thee Stallion, shout out to her being a savage inside and outside of the studio. You want to sing her song real quick?
On that note, yeah. So it goes, I'm a savage. It's classy, bougie, ratchet. Yeah. That's it. Sassy, moody, nasty.
Ooh.
I was right.
Acting stupid. What's happening?
What is happening right now, David? What is happening right now? So, little quick shout out to David. Yeah, great job, David.
Thank you.
For real clap. But shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. When we went to Rolling Loud,
Yeah.
right, and we filmed, people, if you're not familiar, I do a lot of man on the street stuff. We actually have an awesome 9/11 remembrance man on the street coming out. That's going to be on the main channel coming out tomorrow. Vanessa's chopping that up. She kills those things. She's become like the go-to editor for that kind of stuff. But anyway,
It's gonna be awesome.
we do a lot of man on the street. We went to Rolling Loud, and who were the people the most excited to see out of every rapper that was there?
Megan the Stallion.
Want to know why?
The one and only. Why?
Because she's a savage.
Classy, bougie, ratchet.
Keep going.
Sassy, moody, nasty. acting stupid. What's happening?
What's happening? What is happening right now? So that's Megan Thee Stallion. That's her song Savage. And that's our local musician, talented young man, David.
Thank you.
Do you have a musical name that you go by?
Yeah, I release some music. It's just Detective Dolite. Check it out.
Tech and Dolite.
He's
Detective.
awesome.
Okay, so that's advice from Megan Thee Stallion. She's a savage. Switching gears here. Let's talk about Steve Jobs and some of the life lessons that the late great Steve Jobs left before he left
4 of them.
this earth. 4 lessons from the late great Steve Jobs. Here are 4 lessons from Steve Jobs. So for those of you who don't know, he died almost 10 years ago. So this October 5th will be 10 years since he passed. He died October 5th, 2011. So obviously created quite the legacy. Founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, Wozniak, the Woz. But Steve Jobs, controversial figure. If you've seen the movies, didn't make friends, but created quite the legacy. So here are 4 great lessons from Steve Jobs before his passing. Number 1, failure equals opportunity. What does that mean? Failure equals opportunity? He says if you're willing to recognize and embrace failure, it could become a tool for success. Okay? Basically, don't let failure or haters weigh you down. You're not going to win everything, right? You fall 10 times, get up 11.
100%.
The next example of this starts with Jobs' failure at higher education. He went to school. He actually started at Reed College in 1973, and then he dropped out, but then he started to drop in on classes that he actually liked and that were relevant. One was a calligraphy class of all classes. He loved the class, and he said that's the lessons that he learned in that class were a major influence in the design of Mac computers. What are the odds? Drops out of school and decides to drop in on this calligraphy class, and somehow that is a motivating factor in him designing Mac computers. Pretty gangster. We're all using iPhones these days, and if he didn't, drop in on that calligraphy class in 1973 in Reed College, who knows what would have happened. So you don't have to take every single thing from every single course. You can pick the ones that you can take some takeaways from. So one of the things, like I went, we went to college here. The one class that I remember taking in college, I took a listening class. What are the odds of that? But it taught you how to listen. So a lot of people these days, they just want to wait their turn to speak. All right, you're done talking. I can talk now. But as they say, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You don't listen to see what talks next, for you to talk next. You listen to actually hear what the other person's saying. So I understand where he's getting giving that advice. Okay. Number 2 from Steve Jobs, keep faith through adversity. What does he mean? He says sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick, but you should not lose faith. You don't often hear the word faith when it comes to business, right? The truth is that sometimes times are tough. Times are tough and faith is critical. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in what you're doing? Or are you just kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to work, but I believe in what I'm doing. That's faith. It can mean the difference between survival or disintegrating, right? So in money, one of the things I have faith in is the stock market. I don't think the stock market's going to crash and go to zero. I talk about not timing the market, time in the market. I believe in compound interest. And even when the markets are going badly, you weather the storm and think in the long term. So that's my little perspective. What's that noise, by the way?
David, stop playing with the mic. I can hear it.
Ooh.
Number 3 from Steve Jobs. What makes a successful life? He says, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. That's very powerful right there. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinkings. Other people's thinkings. We talked about boomers and millennials, different mentalities, different way of thinking. Maybe the old guard is telling you to do things that worked for them, but that might not necessarily work for you. We'll follow up on that in a second. Have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. This is Steve Jobs here, guys. Follow that gut instinct because only you have yourself to please. Don't let the noise get to your head. Okay, cool. Thank you, Steve Jobs. And number 4, stay foolish. What does that mean? Stay foolish. One of the most powerful quotes associated with Steve Jobs is stay hungry, stay foolish. Staying hungry is easy to interpret. Yo, bro, work hard. Stay hungry. You got to keep it moving. You got to innovate. You got to discover new things. You got to progress. Cool. It doesn't happen, overnight. Stay hungry. Stay hungry. Cool. But staying foolish is a little trickier. What does that mean? Nobody wants to be foolish, right? So, but it's not foolish in the conventional sense, but basically foolishness is a willingness to take on risks. Foolish to basically say, look, even when others are telling us not to do something, I'm going to give it a go. I don't know. I believe in this, right? Kind of like what number 3 he said, faith through adversity. So being foolish might call you a visionary. When I met Pat, he had this foolish idea of not recruiting people with a life insurance license. He said, if you've been in the business, I don't want to deal with you. I just want to carve my own blue ocean strategy and train people, recruit, train, teach, and build their businesses up. The guy's created a multi-$100 million business. So if you never take the risk, you'll always be thinking, what if? So those are some awesome advice from Steve Jobs. Thoughts on Steve Jobs?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm holding my mic on. Yeah, you are. Dude, great lessons from a great mind. That these are just 4 of the many things that he left behind. Mm-hmm. Related to the last thing you said, and unrelated to Steve Jobs, Gary Kasparov at the Vault said something related to risk. What you said, yeah. He goes, "Taking risk is risky. Not taking risk is even riskier."
Awesome,
amazing.
Wow,
and it's just something to keep in the back of your
cool.
mind.
Well done. Well done. With that being said, let's transition to the next story. And this is a personal story. And this story has to do with cars. Cars.
All right.
Okay. So now this is something that I believed in wholeheartedly. Some would say that I was taking a risk at this time. Some people would go on to say that I was being foolish. Some people would say, no way. What's a successful guy like you not having a car? What are you thinking there, bro?
What's your angle here?
What's your angle here, right? This is faith through adversity. This is stuff that Steve Jobs talks about. This is failure equals opportunity. Everything he just talked about is what I'm about to talk about right now. So I think I've been pretty vocal about this, that I haven't had a car in 10 years. 10 years I haven't had a car. I always wanted a Mercedes. I always had in high school, I had like the worst car in high school. I went to this, I got a scholarship to this, private high school in Miami Country Day. Shout out to the Spartans out there. And I had my mom's old jalopy that she gifted to me. The color was rust, and it was the nickname was Blinky because one headlight was up and one was down. It was just like this mess of a car. And then finally, when I went to college, I got another car, and I was doing food deliveries, and the car would always break down. It was a mess. So finally, when I started to make a little bit of money, I said, I always want a Mercedes, bro. I always wanted a Mercedes. I had just turned 30, and I probably was 27, 28 when I really started making money. At that time, I had made 6 figures, which was cool for me. So I said, all right, I'm going to get a car. And my buddy was actually selling his old Mercedes. It was an older Mercedes, but it was my roommate in college, and I loved this car. And I bought the car off of him. I go, how long is this car going to last? Because it had 100,000 miles on it. 2 years, bro. 2 years.
2 years?
That's what he said.
What?
He said, I've had the car.
Oh, he said it'll last 2 years.
It'll last 2 more. It was the car was already 10 years old.
Oh, yikes.
And it had 100,000 miles on it. It was an older Mercedes, but I loved his car.
Yeah.
And 1 year in,
No.
highway, drama. I'm like, fuck this. Thing's the worst. I ended up selling the car for like $3,000 and I said, let me see how long I can go without having a car. And that summer was the summer that my boy, Chris Humphries, married Kim Kardashian. Oh, and I was out there in LA doing the whole Kardashian thing. I'll save those details for another time, but I was in LA for the summer, okay? We were going to Mexico. We were living our best life. I had literally had drivers. It was pre-Uber. And it was awesome. So I came back to Florida. I said, all right, I haven't had a car in 2-3 months. Let's see how long I could go. All right, I was taking the train. I was just doing what I could without a car. 10 years later, I haven't had a car, right? So I've saved a ton of money. I've invested a ton of money.
Yeah.
Right? And things are doing okay. Now, since then, Uber and Lyft is everywhere. Instacart. During COVID, you ain't going anywhere. So it's treated me very well. Now, this doesn't work for everybody. Like people say, because I lived in downtown Miami and everything was around me. And anywhere I needed to go,
Of course.
I would Uber there.
It was convenient.
And obviously, I have like inroads and I have friends in the nightlife business. I would go and meet them. I'd be drinking. The last thing I'm going to do is trying to catch a DUI.
Right.
Like, I think I was the only one of my friends in college that I lived with. Like, it was a group of guys from Miami. The only one that didn't get a DUI. So I've seen the DUI thing happen.
Yeah.
It's actually absurd these days that people get DUIs with freaking Uber out there and Lyft.
Right.
Like, dude.
So many options.
$10,000 is what it costs for a DUI, and you're worried about a $30 Uber? What are we talking about now?
Yeah.
So, point is, I haven't had a car in 10 years. And what I always talk about is, all right, so it's not just the car payment. Do you know the average car payment for a new car in America?
$400.
It's over that. It's over $550 for a new car. For a used car, the average car payment is $400. But it's more than just the car payment, right? It's the gas. It's the
Right.
insurance. It's the maintenance. It's the repairs. It's the taxes. It's the tolls. It's the fees. It's the registration. It's the parking. It's the God forbid you get a DUI. All that. And it just adds up. So I saw this article. I said, you know what? This article basically is what I'm talking about here. So if you're paying $500 for your car as a monthly payment, that's $500. So that's $6,000 a year in car payments, okay? But this article right here says the true cost of ownership for a new car is $10,000 a year. The true cost of ownership, when you add up everything, car payment, the depreciation, the interest, the insurance, the maintenance, the gas, and that's just if everything goes according to plan. God forbid you get in an accident or a flat tire or a DUI. It goes up from there. So the average car ownership, they call it the TCO, the true cost of ownership, is $9,666, just shy of $10,000. So every year, AAA conducts a survey to determine the true cost of car ownership. In 2020, the number was $9,500, and now this year it's $9,666. So it's going up, and it's only going to go up. So
My days.
Oh.
yeah, this is what happens right there. Patrice
Check
goes
the
lose that
comment,
money.
dude, no.
My
Patrice
guy.
in the house.
Patrice in the house, our guy. So that's the point. And then, so I ask yourself, 10 years ago, the thought of not having a car was unfathomable.
Yeah, insane.
You need to get to work. You need to go places. You need to go get the groceries. You need to do everything you got to do. You got to run errands. These days, with a lot of people living in cities, right? Obviously, if you live out in the country, you're going to need something, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
Living in cities, Amazon deliveries, Instacart, COVID, shutdowns, things not being open, you not wanting to be around people, cars are a little bit, I would say, overrated at this point. Yeah? I don't know. It all depends. Never was there a time before that you didn't necessarily have to have a car. Now, you might be saying, I live kind of far from work. I can't do this. I get it. But never in the last, 50 years has it not been this easy to not have a car. That's my point. You have a car.
Yeah.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, so David, what time you getting out of here?
Yeah.
And obviously,
So it would be your benefit if I were to keep my car.
yeah, for me.
Just kidding.
Anyway, the true cost of ownership is
No, that's ludicrous.
about
man.
$10,000 a year. So if you make $50,000 a year, 20% of your income is going to your car. 20%. It's a lot of
A lot of dough.
It's a lot of dough to roll around in style. Anyway, so and then when I saw this article, this is from Value Penguin. It's basically
Value Penguin.
Value Penguin, not Valuetainment.
Valuetainment's mascot right there. Value Penguin.
Value Penguin, shout out. So when I saw this article, I said, all right, if the car payment is the most expensive, what's the next? And then car insurance was there. So I broke it down like this. It says these are the states that have the most expensive car insurance, and these are the states that have the least expensive cost for car insurance. So now I don't want to go through all 50 of them, but let's just go through the top 5. Can we do that?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Top 5. Here we go. Let's start from the 5 on up. The 5th most expensive state is Missouri at $1,895 a year for car insurance. Number 4, California, $1,966 a year. Number 3, here in Florida, $2,082 a year in Florida.
My
Third
God.
most, just for car insurance, $3,000. Michigan, number 2, $2,100. And number 1, this is by far, it's not even freaking close. It blows everything else out of the water. Oftentimes, because they are getting blown out of the water, it's Louisiana with $2,800. Okay, that's obviously has to do with hurricanes and things that happen there. That I assume that's the situation there with Louisiana. So if you're in those states, and you're spending almost $3,000 on car insurance, that's literally what I spend a year on Uber. Just to put it in perspective, okay? I spend about
I've always wondered.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
eventually, like, is it actually
Yeah.
way less than having a car? And
Well,
all
keep
that?
in mind, when I was working from home, like a lot of people are, before I was coming into valuetainment every day, I was working from home. I've been working remote for 5-6 years. I spent maybe $100 a month on Uber. A month.
Holy.
A month. Because I worked from home. I lived in a nice condo. My
Yeah.
gym was in the condo. Like, I lived downtown Miami. Anywhere I needed to go, the Miami Heat Arena to go to Heat games or the museum, it was all right there, downtown. Like, if you live in New York City, you understand what I'm talking
No,
about.
I lived in downtown Miami. I know
Okay, exactly.
what
You
it's
lived at
like.
Biscayne,
Yeah.
exactly. So it was very easy. I would Instacart, I would Amazon. I literally spent no money. The only time I would go out, and I'd go out, hit South Beach, go out, I would Uber. But even if I had a car, I'd still be Ubering.
Right.
Like, I'm still going out drinking. I'm not going to
Yeah.
Uber to the club. I'm sorry, I'm not going to drive to the club. I'm going to Uber. Anyways, if you're in those states and you live close to work, maybe you're about that Uber life. You save that money. Now let's get into the bottom 5 states. And these are the states that, hey, maybe I'll keep my car because car insurance not that
bad.
expensive here. Least expensive. So this is number 5. Number 5 least expensive is Ohio. It's $992.
What? I knew it was going to be some state like that.
Yeah, well, there's more. There was more where that came from, buddy. Ohio, $992.
Here we go.
Number 4, least expensive, Idaho, $985. Number 3, least expensive, Wisconsin, $938. And then number 9, New Hampshire, $885. And then do you want to guess the least?
I'd rather just stay. And
Do you
want to
guess the
whatever.
least expensive state out there? Any guesses out there? The least expensive state?
Kentucky.
Arizona.
Nope. My main man, Maine. $880. Maine is the cheapest state for car insurance. So that's that. That's little sauce tip, little 2 cents for you. Cars are damn expensive. They are depreciating assets. And now more than ever, you might want to consider ditching the car and doing that Uber life. You know that song that goes, Uber, Uber, Uber everywhere,
Yes.
Uber everywhere, Uber everywhere. When that song came out, I'm like, this is me.
Dude,
This is me.
this is me.
Okay. Before we wrap up, and before I get into the Q&A, let me pull out my phone. While I'm pulling this up, can I get one more rendition of Savage?
Oh, yeah. You
Can I
got
get
it.
that? do the
poetry at
people
this
want that?
Let's see. Let me get back to the words. Okay, ready?
No.
Trying to see if I do it in
David,
an accent.
Savage.
I'm a savage. Classy, bougie, a little ratchet. Sassy, moody, nasty. Acting stupid? What's happening? This was also my interview with Mario at Valuetainment. He's like, well, so tell me more about yourself, David. And I was like, well, I'm a savage.
I'm a savage. You got to
Classy,
understand that.
I'm bougie.
Yes.
I'm ratchet.
Okay.
What's happening?
All right, let's get into some Q&A. By the way, for those of you asking if we're ever going to take phone calls, yes, we are. We're a couple weeks
soon.
away from that. Not so much that we're not ready. It's just that David won't be with us next week, and Marcelo's going to be filling in, and I don't think he's equipped for that yet. But we are going to be taking some Q&A. This will happen at the end. So for now, if you go every day before the SOSCAST, every Thursday, that morning, I'm going to do what you got on your mind. So if you go onto my Instagram at SOS Talks Money, SOS Talks Money, I'm going to ask you your question, what's on your mind, and we're going to give you my 2 cents to answer your questions. And by the way, if there's a fake SOS Talks Money out there, like a SOS Talks Maloney, like with a M-L-N-E-Y, they don't spell money right, fake account. So Talk Money, fake account. SOS Talks Money. Not money with 2 Y's, everything spelled like that. SOS Talk Money? No, we're Talks Money around here.
We talks.
So, we Talks Money. Okay. So let me just go through this real quick, and I have not looked at this, and that's the way I like to do it. I don't have canned answers. So I go onto my Instagram, boomy boom, and let's get into it. So the first question, this is from T.A. Romero, NFTs as investments. We talked about that. What a perfect segue. We talked about that. Steph Curry doing what he do, buying the Moody Ape. What was it called again?
Bored Ape.
The Bored Ape. That guy was moody and bored. 1% of your net worth, maybe you put into something like that. Nothing crazy. Say Ben says, how do you chase money and not feel guilty about leaving your kid asking to stay? Damn.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't have any kids. I do have cats, and every day they look at me like, man, where you going, bro? I want my cats to have a better life than I did.
Where you going, bro?
I don't know. I guess my instincts would, depending on how old your kid is and whether your relationship status, I would just make your kid understand what you do and why you need to leave the house. Daddy's got to work. Daddy wants you to go to good school. Daddy's got to pay the bills. Maybe you take your kid with you so they see what you do one day. But everybody works. Everybody has to chase that money, and I don't think you should feel guilty about trying to make a living and feed your family. So to our friend that asked that question, we're with you, buddy. What type of investments would you make if you were a current high school senior? Save that money, save that money, save that money. And then, like we talked about at the beginning of this episode, open up a brokerage account.
Yeah.
Open up a brokerage account. At that age, unless you're absolutely obsessed with real estate, I wouldn't start trying to buy a property at 18 years old, 17 years old. Save up, save $10,000 before you start investing, and go from there. That's my advice for you. It's Forbes says, what books would you recommend for personal finance? Any that would help? I talk about this all the time. A book that crystallized everything for me was the book written about and by the founder of Vanguard, the largest mutual fund in the world. His name is Jack Bogle. It's the Boglehead's Guide to Investing. It's very simple. It's easy. There's another guy called Ramit Sethi, if you ever heard of him. It's I Will Teach You to Be Rich. It's pretty good. I want to put him on the on something, David. Maybe we get him on the show, do an interview with him. It's pretty good. Yvonne says, can you define personal brand? Can I define personal brand? I mean, there's 2 words there. Person, you, brand, what you are. You know, look it up. Create your personal brand. Nothing crazy there. Best place to get interest on my emergency fund. This is from CBO Anthony. Okay, I actually love this freaking question. Best place to get interest on my emergency fund. Dude, the last thing that you should be worried about on your emergency fund of $10,000 is making interest. Okay?
Right.
Interest is for your brokerage account, is for your investments. That's where you're worried about interest. Interest on just cash, minimal. That's not why you're saving. Your saving isn't for a rate of return. Your saving is for an emergency fund, for a cushion, for a rainy day fund, for like, oh shit, I need $5,000, I got it. Not because you made $50 in a year on interest. Not a big deal. Interest is for investments. Saving is for liquidity. Know the difference. What's the best financial tip for a non-U.S.? Same shit that I talk about here. Save that money, invest, and diversify your investments, and invest for the long term. If you could tell your 19-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be? Enjoy yourself. You know, life is long, right? You're 19. You're going to be 20. You're going to be 30. I'm freaking 40 now. I'm going to be 50. My business partner's 50, right? You're going to be 60. Life is long, right? Pat talks about the phases of life. From 0 to 20, don't fuck it up. Don't overdose. Don't go to jail. Don't get into trouble. Don't get completely injured or mangled. Just don't fuck it up. From 20 to 40, make your money. Have a career. Save that money. Invest that money. Build your wealth. From 40 to 60, that's when you can start to work on a passion. Like Pat did insurance for 20 years. It's his 20th anniversary literally tomorrow. And now he's focusing on valuetainment, media. That's his passion. He wants to build businesses and do the media space. And the last phase of life is contribution, whether that's in politics, whether that's in education, whether that's giving back, whether that's philanthropy. There's different phases. So best piece of advice in 19, don't fuck it up. Stay healthy, save that money, find a career, not a job, have a skill set, be a specialist, not a jack of all trades, and the future looks bright. So that's my advice to you.
Very sweet. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
What is this is from Chaim Solomon. Chaim, what is your biggest passion and drive in life? Like we just discussed in the last answer, your biggest passion in life. I say the same three things to myself every day. I have an affirmation. I say health, wealth, and happiness. Without health, you got nothing, right? If you're worth $1 billion and you're going to die tomorrow, you'd trade it all in for a long life. Health, wealth, and happiness. So understand that the health comes first, build your wealth. And I know a lot of people, I'd rather be, I ask this question a lot. Would you rather be happy but broke or rich and unhappy? I'll take the money and I'll figure out a way to be happy. If you're broke and you have no money, life's tough. So my passion is actually what I'm doing right now. Giving back, teaching, being a part of something bigger than myself. Last couple questions, because I probably got 100 of them. So let me find the one or two that I'd love to do. How do you find what you love to do? That's a good question. How do you find what you love to do? I think you just kind of know that, right?
Yeah.
So Patrick, you'll see me referencing Patrick Bet David a lot here because we're on Valuetainment and he started this channel.
Yeah.
But he did a video called "Should You Follow Your Passion or Chase Money?" Right?
Yeah.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We'll put up a little short clip to that right here, a little thumbnail, so you can see that in the short clips or whatever. Watch that video. Watch that video. Find out, should you chase your passion or you chase money? If you chase your passion, you might end up broke. If you chase money, you can always circle back and pursue your passion. So, but both are important, clearly. Let's do one last question here.
I'm a savage.
I'm a savage. Last question here. Why does Patrick want to be so mafia? Why does he want to be so? Patrick, I feel like, is mafia at this point. I don't think he wants to be. I feel like he sat down with so many mafiosos at this point that, like we had Michael Frances, one of the biggest names in the history of the mob, here sitting 1 foot away from us today. Pat's in that world, and if you haven't tuned into what he's doing with the Mafia States of America, gonna be sick.
Yeah, you better tune into that.
Gonna be sick. So don't hate, participate. So anyway, that's my advice to you on why Patrick is so mafia. And there's a lot of business lessons you can learn from the mafia. That's what we learned about today, right?
Yeah, and a lot of good. I think there's a lot of life lessons in there too. A lot of discipline involved in the. There's so many different things that if you just take away all the negative stuff or whatever it is, there's a lot of interesting stuff to learn about the mob.
That's for sure. And one thing we know about Pat, he's a savage.
Classy,
bougie, nasty. Is it nasty? Is that what it is? Anyway, we're coming to our time today. Thank you guys, as always, for being a part of the SOSCAST. This was a fun show. We are reading your comments. We are commenting on your comments. We appreciate it. We do this every Thursday. We'll be back next Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. We got the music teed up on the outro. That's awesome. Enjoy your weekend. And remember, as always, my friends, to save that money.